Bienvenidos, Dexter. Cassie here, and I know by now you're well on your way to Costa Rica. However, I wanted to leave you with 5 key terms and concepts for you to just take along your trip. Reflect back on them whenever you'd like, and I'm positive, you'll find them extremely helpful. So, the first concept I'd want to introduce is proxemics. So, proxemics. And proxemics is the study of how people use personal space to communicate. So, this is extremely important because as Americans, we really value personal space. However, that's not the same across all cultures. Some cultures actually identify personal space as a bit standoffish, and they may take offense to you maintaining, distance during an interaction or a conversation. So, the second key word to remember is culture. So, culture is the learned patterns of behavior between a group of people. So it's a shared concept, shared rituals that create these cultures. And this is really important because the American culture is totally different from the Costa Rican culture. Although you may find some similarities, I'm sure you'll find a lot of differences as well. So along your journey, during your 6 months, try to identify just how different the Costa Rican culture is from our own culture. And the third keyword that I want to leave you with as well is culture brokers. So, culture brokers. And you don't even know it, but you're actually a culture broker. So, by being a teacher that teaches English as a second language to these students, you're actually facilitating this interaction between cultures. And a culture broker is an individual who acts as a bridge between cultures, again, facilitating cross-cultural interaction and conflict. So this is definitely a concept to take with you because it will help you to understand your role, not only as their instructor to help them learn the language, but help them to learn our culture as well and be open to embracing their culture. So, the fourth concept that I want to share with you is cultural spaces. So, you'll notice a lot of this is related to culture, and that kind of comes hand in hand with being an international student. So, cultural spaces. And cultural spaces is really the social and cultural context in which our identity forms. So, this is a root foundational term. And this is really in relation to where we grow up, where we live. So we're talking about our physical homes and our actual neighborhoods. And this idea of cultural spaces really tells us that, culture is created even outside of the physical space. So the family culture is something that a lot of people can identify with, regardless of if they grew up in identical homes or identical neighborhoods. So definitely be open to the idea of cultural spaces because it'll allow you to really relate and connect to these students on a different level, on a familiar level, one that you probably are surprised to encounter. And then the last and final key term, and honestly, what I think is the most important, is non-judgmentalism. So here we go, non-judgmentalism. So this is really the freedom from evaluating according to one's own cultural frame of reference. So you're going to come across some crazy stuff, things that you'll think are cool and things that you're just kind of uncomfortable with. They may be a little awkward, but just because they make you feel awkward doesn't mean that they're bad. It doesn't mean that then you should, judge these people or their rituals and things that they're doing because they're not what you identify with. So please focus on being conscious. Please focus on being present and aware and non-judgmental. I wish you the best. Have a safe trip. Keep in touch, and adios.